Hey everyone, my name is Lachlan Arundel. I'm an early career teacher from Australia, and this is the fourth video in a series of videos about research practice partnerships for early career teachers. In this video, I'm going to talk about and unpack some of the sort of holistic elements of Cooper McGregor and Schuchak's model of research practice partnerships and look at some of their applications in the education space in Australia. Now, the model itself that the authors have posited and put forward is a fantastic model for professional discussion and looking at ongoing work with research practice partnerships, either sort of the establishment and or review of an ongoing process. And particularly for early career teachers, it's valuable to be involved in that process and really thinking about how to navigate sort of complex environments, how to collaborate with colleagues, and how to look at and use data and research to work towards improving elements of professional practice. Now, with the actual structure of a research practice partnership being a multi-stakeholder, sort of multi-level operation, they can be quite resource intensive in terms of time, people, and money. So potentially when it comes to thinking about research practice partnerships for teachers and possibly even narrowing that focus further to early career teachers is really thinking about how that framework is operationalized. That rather than being a sort of a model which is targeted at a lot of different levels, really thinking about, well, how can this model be tailored towards early career teachers? And I think one of the, two key points to think about in relation to that is within the elements that Cooper, McGregor and Schuchak put forward in their model, I would assert that within schools and within sort of school environments, those different elements may already be happening, but they may be happening under different meta language. And it might not be characterized or put forward as a research practice partnership, but it might still be operating within either a school itself or within a school system. So potentially going forward, thinking about RPPs for teachers and early career teachers is thinking about, rather than upscaling and having a sort of a broader scope of articulating a research practice partnership, potentially it's thinking more in line of a multimodal relationship between research and practice and operationalizing it in a way which is relevant to classroom teachers' work and also actionable in their classrooms. Now, thinking about in the context of Australia, there are a few key examples that I just want to mention, and in the following video I'll unpack one of those examples in a lot more detail, because there's a lot of work going on in the space about evidence use, research and practice in Australian institutions and with Australian practitioners. So the first example is the Monash University and their Q project, which has a wide range of publications and is doing ongoing research to really understand how teachers are using their time, how they're accessing research, and how that relationship actively looks in practice. On a much more smaller scale, through using sort of Twitter and Flip, there's a small group of practitioners in Australia and sort of other parts, and practitioners and researchers who are involved in an edu reading group. Now, this group is sort of like a book club. Each week, not each week, each month, the organizer of this group, Stephen Kolber, decides on or the group collectively decides on an article to read. The reading for this week is looking at the idea of quality teaching and a new study in relation to that. But thinking about how and organising professional discussions through those sort of multimodal means, through Twitter and through sort of asynchronous meetings and videos to talk about research in relation to individuals' practice. And sort of another institution which is doing a lot of work in this space, particularly focusing on work with both teachers, practitioners and policymakers, is the Australian Education Research Organisation. And they're doing a lot of work in establishing new tools and resources for those different stakeholders to look at practices that are intended to be implemented, or looking at evaluating what can be done in classes based on confidence levels with research to sort of make substantive change in the classroom or in policy environments. So overall, the framework is really useful. It's a great tool to use for professional discussions and informed decision making for all stakeholders in research practice partnerships. And part of that ongoing research and looking at reviewing what's happening in schools and happening in research and policy sort of environments, it's vital that early career teachers are involved in that, because there is an incredible amount of growth and sort of professional knowledge and engagement that can stem from being involved in these research practice partnerships and being an active participant.